Top 5 piercings that I don't suggest getting done or that you plain simply don't want. Coming up next on Piercing Top 5, episode number 2. For those that are new to the channel, first off, welcome to the Body Piercing and Tattooing channel. Hope you're finding the videos helpful and informative, but you might not know who this guy is. My name is DaVo. I'm a professional body piercer and have been since 1994. I own and I operate the Axiom Body Piercing Studio located right here inside Skin Kitchen Tattoo. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through 5 piercings that I generally do not suggest getting done or refuse to do at my studio. There's a lot of different reasons for that, and if you saw the short version, we're going to go through the explanation of why. Starting with number 5, cheek piercings. Now, though cheek piercings are an established piercing, they will heal. They've been around since the 90s. They have a whole load of issues. First one being general contact with teeth and gums and the risk of damage to them. The fact that most people don't have an anatomy that's easily going to keep that jewelry away from it, or away from your teeth and gums, makes this piercing a higher risk than other piercings. The other issue is the excessive amount of swelling these piercings tend to have. It is not uncommon for these to swell throughout the healing period for long periods of time, go through a period where it isn't swelling, and then it swells up again, and back and forth, and back and forth. The last thing is saliva. Actually, this can impact the saliva ducts, causing them to leak out of the sides of your mouth. Not the inside, the outside. And oftentimes, even when you remove the jewelry and heal the piercing over, it continues to do that. So that's why I would put that on this list at number 5. Number 4 is Dahlia Bites. Now, Dahlia Bites, or Dahlia Bites, anyway, they're on the edge of your mouth. 900% of the people on the planet do not have the proper anatomy for this. There isn't enough space there to anchor it and stay out of the muscle tissue. The other problem with them is oftentimes they will migrate, causing a slit-like scar to be on the corners of your mouth. Now, you might think that sounds all great and wonderful, but a majority of people do not like scar tissue, and it is there for the rest of your life. Thus, why this is number 4 on the list. Number 3 is knuckle piercings. Now, these are done through the space between the knuckles on the hand. I don't know why we're even talking about this. There's a lot of different problems with this. First off and foremost, your hands are a very complicated group of tendons, muscles, nerve endings, etc. And you should never risk the possibility of damaging any of it because it can cause lifelong problems. The other thing with them is that there's a lot of movement, which means it's going to be a prolonged healing period. If it heals at all, it's going to be prone to rejection, where your body completely rejects the jewelry. And because it's on your hand and you come in contact with pretty much everything in your environment by using your hands, it's probably going to become infected, or it's a high risk. Now, it's going to get caught in absolutely everything. Every time you put a new shirt on, every time you put gloves on, every time you touch something or bump into something, these are just a dumb idea, and that's why they're number 3 on the list. Number 2 is the Ebola piercing. This is an older extreme piercing that seems to pop up every once in a while. Originally done by John Cobb in New York City back in the mid to late 90s. About 95, I think, actually. So that'd be mid-90s. There's a whole load of reasons why you don't want to get this done. It really doesn't serve any purpose. I've heard horror stories of it causing scarring and coughs and all kinds of other issues. Plus, on top of that, swallowing the jewelry or getting the food and etc. caught on the jewelry, having problems removing the jewelry once it's in there, and a whole host of other problems. It is a high-risk piercing that takes a set of skills that most piercers don't have. You're also working deep inside the mouth, and unless you have a perfectly developed anti-gagging instinct, you're probably going to have issues getting this piercing done. It's just one of those piercings that, yeah, it's cool that somebody did that, but it's just not very practical and not something you should, strive to get. Now, number 1, the last one on the list, snake eyes piercing. This piercing is one of those piercings that plagues the body piercing industry. It has for a long period of time. Somebody did it, somebody healed it out. So thus, everybody on the planet thinks that that's the same thing is going to happen for them. Until you start doing multiple people and begin to realize that most people don't have the anatomy for this particular piercing or the tolerance for this particular piercing, so they tend to do a couple different things. First off, because they're constantly in contact with your front teeth and gums, they do damage. They're also extremely frustrating, causing lisp, clicking noises, and all kinds of other problems. The other thing is you're tying two muscles together, so creating certain sounds with your tongue like you do naturally when you speak, it becomes extremely difficult suddenly. The last thing is just the body flat out rejects this, just pushing it directly out. Now, I know the comment section is going to be filled with a bunch of people that have had absolutely no problem with any number of the piercings on this list, and I'm sure you haven't. You're the exception. The reality is the general public would have problems or issues with this, and that's why I don't advise doing them, and that's why I don't do them. I come from an old school that believes that if you want a piercing and you go to a professional to get it done, it should be a piercing that you can keep for the rest of your life, not some temporary thing that is going to fall apart and cause massive amounts of scarring and possible damage to things like teeth and gums. That's all I have to say today on this subject. Till next time, here's hoping all your piercings heal with ease and without a single issue. And if you're in the Des Moines, Iowa area, I hope to see your body piercing needs in the future. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you for watching. Check out this other video.